Hey there, Prairie Plant Girl here. I am in the garden today and I'm working on my watermelon, and I thought you might find this a little bit interesting, so I thought I'd share it with you. I grow my watermelon on a trellis. I've been doing this for 3 years, I believe now. This is the Titan Squash trellis. I purchased mine from Vessi Seeds. I think you can find it at other suppliers as well. I'll try and remember to put a link down below for you. No affiliation or anything, I get nothing out of it, but if you're interested where I get it, it's a nice strong trellis. And I have my watermelon growing on it. I believe I have 6 plants growing on this side that are watermelon plants. I actually have some butternut squash on the other side, and of course you can probably see some sweet peas, and there's a few beans in the back. So a lot going on this trellis, but the watermelon's what we're going to focus on today. And my watermelons are actually getting pretty nice sizes now. We only have 2 weeks before our average last frost here in Saskatchewan, Canada, at least down in my part, in the southern part. Some of you up north might be getting even closer. But I do have some nice looking watermelon coming along here. So I'd like to try and protect them and hopefully get them to a usable stage. They're obviously not ripe yet, and they're getting quite heavy. And so I've brought out maybe some unusual gardening supplies. I've brought out some ladies' stockings or nylons. So I just went to the dollar store and picked this pack up yesterday. And you could use old stockings or nylons, but I don't have any that I want to sacrifice to the garden right now. So they get brand new stockings. I'm going to be cutting off pieces of the stockings to wrap around the watermelon and then tying them off to the trellis, and that'll help just to give a little extra support, and just so they don't come crashing down off of the trellis before they're ripe if they get too heavy for the vine to support. The other thing I'm going to be doing is coming in and I'll be cutting off any extra vines coming off from around the watermelon, like off the vine the watermelon's growing on, and I'll show you that in a minute. And I'll also be cutting back some of these vines that are coming here that have I don't even know if you can see, very small melons coming on them, that the plant's going to be putting energy into those. And I don't want that right now. I want it to focus on these 5 or 6 that I have going here. And hopefully then I can get a couple of nice watermelon. I believe what I have here, this, and this, I believe are all sweet Siberian. This kind of looks like it's developing into a scaly bark, and I might have a moon and stars in the back, but I don't think I have any. I think that's something else coming along there. So we'll see what we wind up with. But I'm going to cut my stockings up here, and then I'll bring you in a little closer so you can have a better look. So you don't need to do anything fancy with them, and I've just bought the largest size they had at the dollar store, but stockings stretch, and that's the beauty of them. So I'm just going to cut them. I have, it looks like 4 good sized watermelon going here, so I'll cut them so I can have about 4 pieces of leg off the stocking. We'll start with these 2. I'll do these. And then you can use the gusset as well if you need. If I find any more hiding in here, I'll have a bit more. We have a rainstorm coming in, so I'm trying to get this done quickly and show you at the same time. So I have this random vine just coming down in your way, and it's not helping the plant at all. So I'm just gonna take it out of our way here, being careful not to remove any vine that would be attached to this, and subsequently cutting off my melon here. So that'll go in the compost. Now I have this melon here, and I have no big vines coming off that are looking to produce more fruit coming off of it, just leaves that it needs for energy. So we'll just take our stocking, open it up, and wrap up our melon. Now it looks not very attractive in the garden, but I'd rather have it look a little less attractive and hold on to than drop the fruit. So I'm just trying to get some of these leaves out of the way. But all I've done here is wrap it around the the stronger part of the structure instead of just the netting that the vine is holding onto now. And I've just wrapped it around, and I'm just going to tie a knot so it's knotted onto the actual trellis structure and not just the mesh trellisy part, the mesh part. So now this melon has just that much more support. And I mean, really, stockings are support hose, right? And it has a lot of room to stretch and grow in here. You could use just about any size stocking, I think, as long as it was an adult stocking, and it would work for most of the melons. So now I have this one here, and although it's not very big right now, they grow pretty fast this time of year as long as they're getting sun and lots of water. So I am going to wrap it right now, and it looks like I'll be trying to get it up to this bar up here. Now I could just tie it onto the plastic netting if I couldn't reach the bar, but I think we can get there, so we may as well do that. And so I'll show you with this one. This is just the leg that I cut off, so it's open on both ends. So I'm just going to put the melon at about halfway, and if it won't reach up to that big bar, so I am just going to put it onto the wire or the plastic netting, but that's fine. That netting is strong and it'll support this as it grows. I'm just tying a knot if I can here with the two ends together, except I've lost the other end. So I just knotted it onto this plastic netting, and again, there's tons of room for this melon to grow and stretch in all directions. I really don't think this one's going to get big enough. It's not very big right now, but you never know, so it's worth saving the ones that you can. So another one down here. Again, this is one of the leg of the stocking type, so we'll just bring it over to the bar here and get both of the open ends tied off. And that should hold it and give it room to grow there. Now, I was looking at my garden journal the other day, and as of a year ago, yesterday I believe it was, I was pulling my watermelon vines out because they were so diseased and damaged, but we've had a really nice wet August, which actually has helped to keep some of that powdery mildew in that at bay. And I've been spraying my vines almost every week with a milk spray, and I think that's also been helping. So they've been doing quite well back in here. And I think actually there's an apple tree on the other side, and I think that little bit of shade in the heat of the afternoon has maybe helped these plants out a little bit too. They do like a lot of sun, but sometimes that really hot afternoon sun can be damaging even to sun-loving plants, especially ones with these thin leaves that are so big like this that dry out in our winds, and we have a lot of high winds here. So one more, I think this might be the largest that I'm going to do. I think you can see this guy here. And then I'm going to measure a couple of these fruit here, and we'll see what they're like now. It feels like they're growing every day when they get to this point. So we'll measure them again in a few days and see how much they've grown. Now, my garden is on automatic irrigation with drip emitters, but I also come and give about 1.5 liters or so of extra water to each of these plants. And I don't measure it out to each plant individually. I just have a big watering can that I fill, and I try to spread it evenly across all these plants. And I try to do that every day, sometimes every 2 days if I don't have time or we've had a lot of rain. They're going to go without that for a couple of days now because I'll be busy moving my kids, but we are supposed to get some rain in the next few days, so hopefully that helps them out and helps me out a little bit as a gardener. Now I have one more teeny tiny one here. I think you can see it. I'm not going to worry about netting it. It's probably not going to develop into anything, but I'm going to leave it because I think it might be on a moon and stars plant. Oh, maybe not. I'm going to leave this one anyways, but I am going to come. And so this little watermelon has, it's main stem that's coming up to the watermelon, and then it's starting to grow this new big vine off of the side with flowers, and that has a little tiny watermelon trying to start here. I'm going to cut this off so energy is going into the watermelon and not into producing flowers and more watermelon on that stem there. And then I'm going to come and just same thing, like this has a tiny little watermelon starting, but I want these plants to be focusing on what they have, and this is definitely not attached to any watermelon. So I know I can easily take this off and encourage it to start doing more with these plants here. I'm going to take this little watermelon here and just cut it off. And there's a few more back here. And this vine I can see isn't, I'm not going to be cutting a melon I want off, so I'll just take this whole vine off. But you can see there was a couple more melons on there. And I'm just going to go through and do that. But first, let's measure some of these watermelon. So I'm not going to worry about this little tiny guy. But let's get the good old IKEA paper ruler out here and see what we have. So I tried to kind of go around the center. This one is just under 30 centimeters, about 29 centimeters and 7 millimeters, I would say. Let's see, actually, is it back all the way down at the bottom? Maybe I was holding it kind of funny. Yeah, about 29 and 7 millimeters. Now, there is a little bit of nylon in here. We'll try and go under that a little bit there. I don't think it would add much to our measurement, but this one is 28.8. This little guy, try and find the center there. We're right at 25 centimeters there. Now some of these have gotten longer. Usually my watermelons grow rounder, but they're growing longer this year, which is interesting to me. And this was smaller than the first one that I did originally, and it has caught up. It's out here, it's getting more sun. So maybe that's making a difference. It is 30.3, I believe that says. So I'm just going to keep going through and taking off these extra vines that are just taking energy away from the melons I want to develop. You could see, which one is it here? One of these had melons on it. Here, I'm holding them. Melons right there, and there was another one down there. This wasn't going to develop properly anyways. I'm going to keep going through. I don't want to take a whole lot off the actual plant because I want the plant to be able to give energy to the melons, but I want to try and get all the little baby melons and flowers and that off now to just help the melons that are here to ripen and grow larger, so I have the best chance of getting a nice sized watermelon before the frost takes my plants away. Hopefully you found it interesting to come out to the garden today with me and use something that's maybe a little bit unconventional in the garden. I have my watermelons all wrapped in their stockings now, and that should help give them all the support they need so that they can grow as big as they want with the weather that we have left. Thanks for coming along, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.